Hey everybody, welcome back. I was thinking about the next video to make, and I wanted to piggyback kind of off the last 1 or 2 videos that I've made, because I think that your mindset is quite honestly the biggest key to your recovery that is not really ever even talked about. I think that everybody who I've come across throughout my recovery and even currently, they talk about a lot of tips, they talk about a lot of symptoms and reassurances, and their way of overcoming anxiety and getting through it and getting out to the other side is like acceptance. And like, that's true. Like, yes, you do have to accept that, it's just anxiety that's causing you, the physical symptoms and the chest pains and the muscle pains and the off balance issues and everything else, the hundreds of symptoms and feelings and sensations, thousands of symptoms that happen to you. But how are you going to accept? Like, answer me this question, and I would pose this question to anybody who just says that and stops at that. How are you going to accept that it's anxiety when your mindset is always negative, and for the past however many weeks or months you've drilled home the fact that you think you're dying? So how are you just going to drop all of that all of a sudden and become a positive person and just accept that you're fine and you're healthy, and just basically change 10, 20, 30 years of negative thinking all at once? So in this video, I'm going to talk about basically the role that your mindset is going to play, and how it doesn't only shape the recovery from anxiety, but how it's also going to shape the outlook of your life and the direction that your life goes. So if you're somebody who is stuck in a rut right now and is very down on themselves and down on their life, and you think that anxiety is the be-all end-all and the last of it, watch the video until the end, okay? So, with that being said, now, most of the people who are dealing with anxiety are negative thinkers. Whether they know it or they don't know it, they're pre-programmed to think negatively, to look at the world in a negative light, and to kind of see things in worst case scenarios. That's why when you have a symptom, you feel like your heart's going to stop. When you have a symptom or sensation, you feel like it's cancer. When you have a symptom, you automatically respond in fear. And I use the analogy of, you could take 2 people, and 2 people are just born and raised in 2 different ways. Like, everything else about their lives is equal. Both have the same parental love, both have the same dietary things, both have the same lifestyle habits. All that stuff is identical. But one person is raised to always look out for the worst case scenario in every kind of life event and situation, which was me. So this is a personal tie-in too. Your parents obviously don't mean anything bad. They have no ill intent, but it's just what they know. So they raise you to be on the lookout for everything. Always be on the lookout for somebody that's going to kidnap you. Always be on the lookout for HIV. Always be on the lookout for car accidents. Always be on the lookout for anything, shady people. Which, to an extent, yes, obviously you have to have common sense and you have to go about your life, being on the lookout, because accidents happen and people are crazy sometimes. What can you do? But on the flip side, you have somebody who is born and raised with, be aware of your surroundings, but enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. Remember the moments, remember the positive moments. Even just thinking about that and thinking about that way of life and that way of being raised gives me positive. It almost sends a chill. It almost gives me a little chill in a positive way. But I didn't have that, growing up. Again, not to any kind of fault or blame, but I didn't have that. I was raised more be on the lookout for everything, as opposed to, be aware of your surroundings. Obviously, pay attention to things, pay attention to people and their, their motives. But have fun, enjoy yourself, have happy times, remember the positive moments, laugh, love. And that's the whole point of life, is to love and then build these relationships, these close bonds with people. I mean, so just like sit there for a second and think about that. Like, take a step back and think about how, not necessarily how you were raised, but just like about your outlook, and just if you could see the difference in the direction one person's going to go as opposed to the direction the other person's going to go. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that the person who was raised in the first instance is going to have a darker view on the world, as opposed to the person who was raised the second way is going to have a more positive and lighter approach to the world. I mean, I don't see how that could be really even debated. The first person has to come to a point in life where they're introduced to the fact that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to look at everything negatively. And the fact that you could have been raised that way and you've made it 30 years speaks volumes to the fact that you're at a point now where you don't have to be on the lookout for every single person that comes into your life. You've had enough life experiences now where you can gauge a person's character. You're more than capable of doing that. So certain things, you don't have to hold anymore. You don't have to hold these certain views that are dragging you down and making you look at things through a negative light. Because this kind of ties into this whole idea of manifesting and law of attraction and all this kind of stuff, which in and of itself I don't believe in. Like, I don't believe you can manifest $1 million. Everybody would be walking around, they'd be fucking rich, you know what I mean? So you can't, that's just absurd. You can't do that. But where your thoughts go, where your mind goes, obviously the cliche, where your thoughts go, energy flows kind of thing. Where thoughts go, energy flows. I believe in that 100%. So now I believe that if you are somebody who is of a negative mindset, and again, most people that are in the anxiety sphere and are in that stuck in that cycle are negative thinkers. They're always looking out for negative symptoms. They're always attaching a negative connotation to those symptoms. So if you are in that mindset, what do you think you're going to attract? And in other terms, be more conscious of, be more focused on, and what do you think you're going to gravitate more towards? You're going to gravitate more towards negativity. You're going to gravitate more towards negative people. And you're going to surround yourself with more negativity. That's just like attracts like, you know what I mean? Like, this is why you have to shift this mindset. And this is why people talk about gratitude. This is why people talk about, filling your life and filling your mind with positives and things that you love and things that you like, things that you're grateful for. Because you're trying to change your mindset and shift your brain, away from thinking of things that are always negative. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're a positive person and you see the good in the world, and you see the good in people, and you see, you are grateful for the things that you have, what are you going to gravitate towards? You're going to gravitate towards more positive people. If somebody comes around you and their negativity level is up here, you're just going to be like, I don't want to mess with that person. Why would you want to associate with that person? They're just going to bring you down. Because I do believe in the balances also. If somebody's negative energy is higher than your positive energy, they're going to sap away some of your positivity. So, associate more with positives. Associate yourself more with positive people. Associate yourself more with positive outcomes. Try to cancel negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. I try to do this all the time still. If I still get a symptom or a sensation, immediately my mind wants to go toward the negative, wants to go toward, oh, well, what is this? Is this something bad? Is this something heart-related? Is this something negative? So I have to cancel that with, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm totally healthy. I've been checked numerous times. There's literally nothing wrong with me. I'm healthy. I'm good. I feel nothing. I feel lighter now. And even my mind even wants to associate me with feeling lighter a lot of the times. It wants to associate that with something negative. So I have to, counteract that with the positive in hopes that over time the positive starts to outweigh the negatives, and I go and shift my entire being and existence toward positivity. which again for me is going 30 years of trying to counteract, you know, the negatives and things that I've had to deal with. So, you know, for you, I would encourage you to take a step back, look at where your mindset is, and I could pretty much all but virtually guarantee that most of the people that are going to come across this video and are suffering from anxiety have a negative mindset, and they don't even know what's going on in the subconscious, what's going on behind the scenes. It's just always reinforcing the negativity. Every little sensation, that's why when you feel a little sensation, automatically you get an adrenaline dump and you feel the rush and the cold shiver run through your body, because your subconscious is already just fear, bang, it's just, you're frozen. And it still could even happen to me at times, but you have to change the perception. You have to change the game. You have to twist that and basically pull a 180 and get to a new point of, you know, perception and recollection about what's going on with you and why you're feeling that kind of stuff. So yes, the law of attraction and manifestation and things like that is true to an extent, but it's all about where you're putting your energy. Put it into the positives, start to shift away from the negatives, and your overall life is going to be in a much better place for it. That I can absolutely guarantee you. So if you got anything from this, if it's not something that you've heard about before, please let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, share it with people who are struggling, again, because I can guarantee you that they have a lot of negativity in their lives, in their relationships with their friends. So that's all I wanted to say. I keep this one short. This is actually the shortest one I've ever done. So thank you very much for making it through this video. Again, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.